Okay, let's start then. You got some good feedback last time, didn't
Yeah,
you?
we really did. Thank you for everyone who listened to our previous podcast and saw us and liked it. So we decided to do this again.
Yeah, by the way, coming up here, I don't know, there's this thing with me. Every time I get on an elevator, I get a little bit dizzy.
Me too. मेरा
Right?
तो tinnitus है तो मेरा तो कान भी बंद हो
It
जाता
happens.
है. Yeah, and then you're always a bit like you also shaky afterwards.
Yeah.
But anyway, our the topic for our
Today's topic is
Today's.
probably, we should do a little bit of ethical gossip,
yeah
Mean Girls. I want to do a little bit of pop culture as well.
yeah.
You know, did you hear Taylor Swift's new album?
I heard some of the songs, and apparently one of them has gone cancelled.
Yeah.
And they're saying that it's about Blake Lively.
Yeah, I think it is. It makes sense for it to be about her, basically.
But they say that she wrote the song before the Blake Lively scandal happened. Some of them are saying.
I don't know. I haven't heard enough, but like from what I heard, I was like, okay, it sounds like it's about her.
It could be.
But I didn't really like the album.
Unpopular opinion, I don't really like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I like some of her songs.
Some of her songs
All
I
of
like
them.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I feel like Mera Jo Masla hai na, it's basically, I feel like she has so many resources. She
Yeah.
can make the best music. She
Yeah.
can be the most experimental because she's gotten there. Even with her videos, I feel like they're so sequence cheap. You know what I mean? Like I feel like considering she's the biggest pop star right now, I
Yeah.
don't feel like the quality really matches. But that makes sense because like quality isn't what really sells.
don't you think so? I feel like her videos are a bit over the top.
Exactly, it's sequence, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh,
Like it
yeah.
feels like, you know, really sparkly but cheap sparkly,
Yeah.
not like actually, you know.
I feel like she puts on this like whole grand show.
Yeah.
But doesn't have a lot of like quality to it. I
Yeah,
feel like.
exactly. That's my. It feels a bit juvenile for
Uh-huh.
someone at her level,
As big
in
as
her
her.
career. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, but this is the thing about Mean Girl energy. I feel like she's a performative feminist, Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
and she only like sort of voices out her opinions and talks about feminism in a way when it benefits her.
Yeah. But that's like most people in the media these days. You know what I mean? I feel like especially after you get to a certain stage in life, when it comes to like money, like you know, we can have this conversation about that there are no like ethical billionaires basically, which is what she
100%.
is. Like it's
Yeah.
just because of unequal like distribution of wealth.
Yeah.
So out of touch of reality ho jate ho, you know,
Yeah.
naturally. So I mean, unless your whole life, social workers jo hote hain na, like for example Greta Thunberg and stuff, like they've made their whole identity about that.
Yeah.
So it feels like it makes sense, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But if somebody's super rich, like on top of their game, like mostly into flamboyant things, is gonna be like preaching about, oh my god, the hardships of women and the hardships of the gays and all of that, like I don't feel like you're going through that, so it just doesn't feel honest.
But that's what her audience wants to hear.
Yeah.
And I feel like uski niche bhi ab yahi ban chuki hai. All these teenage girls with all this high school drama. And she's a woman in her 30s now. She should stop writing about that and write about more serious
It's so
things.
funny when she writes about high school still, like
Still?
the high school
What the
references
hell is
make
that
it so
about?
funny. I'm 24, like
Yeah.
I should be fine with high school references, but even I find it cringy by the way.
Exactly. I mean, no one should. Like, she's a full-on woman now who's about to get married.
There you
She
go.
should talk about something else.
No.
But
I like some of her songs that like I feel like I can relate to because she is sometimes a good songwriter, but like I feel like she's too market friendly for me to be like, oh my god, she's an artist basically. You know what I
100%,
mean?
yeah.
She's too safe in that regard.
I
it
mean,
gets boring.
she's smart.
She's definitely
she's a
smart.
billionaire,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
she's fucking smart.
There's a reason she's doing it right.
Exactly.
This is what she needs to be doing,
she's
by the way.
doing it right. She's a male version of Elon Musk.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's other artists and there's other singers and performers that are much, much, much better.
Yeah. But,
Creativity wise.
On the note of ethical gossip, do you think that was mean of us to say?
I think we're just giving our opinion.
Yeah, and also I don't feel like there's any character assassination over here. You know what I mean? But I feel like what my issue with most people talking about other people is that you're making statements about them as a person.
Yeah.
I feel like what keeps something ethical when you're talking about other people is like if you're talking about your own experience with them, you know what I mean, and you limit it to the actions and what it does to you, rather than like, oh my god, somebody wasn't nice to me on a drive home, basically.
Yeah.
That doesn't describe their whole life. You know what I mean? I can say, oh, I felt like they were being rude to me. Not that they're a rude person. There's a fine distinction between that. Just like even if you're talking about a celebrity, at the end of the day, it's not somebody you know. I'm just talking about my opinion of her art. I'm not saying like nobody can like it and it's stupid people that like it. That's not what it's
But
about.
there's a difference. There's a significant difference in all of this. There's people who sort of are toxic positive. I don't like that either. Some people who are always like, nahi ye baat bhi nahi karni, wo bhi nahi karni, blah blah blah. I think that's a bit much as well. And then there's people who are always talking down on other people, who make sure that their life's purpose is to sort of make other people feel shitty. So there's extreme ends to both of them.
But do you agree that hurt people hurt people?
100%.
That's where it usually comes from.
But we're hurt people too, and I at least try to not hurt other people.
But the thing is, right? I feel like yes, I'm hurt, but I don't have anybody in my life who has access to me in such a strong way that is hurting me. That's why, like, the hurt is in the past. But when something is like actively like putting me down, I try to eradicate it from my life. You know what I mean? And it's not like, oh my god, you're evil, so I'm gonna kick you out of my life. It's just so the energy you're bringing to me is not doing me any good. If I keep taking it in, it's gonna make me like just not kind to other people as well.
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like people like you and people like me take accountability.
Yeah.
If you take accountability of your actions and the people you surround yourself with, you will be a much better person.
Yeah, you just have to take responsibility of what you're bringing in, and once you start doing that, I feel like, because that was how it was with me. I was really undisciplined with the sort of people I was hanging out with the sort of conversations I was entertaining, and my output was also very undisciplined. It wasn't the kindest, it wasn't the most considerate. But once I just started to clear out my path a little bit, okay, these sort of persons I do not want to hang out with, and even if they are around me, these sort of conversations I do not want to be entertaining.
Yeah.
That just naturally builds like more grace and, like, you can say class with the way that you express yourself, even when it is like anger towards somebody or like something that's not necessarily pleasant.
Yeah. We all know mean girls, by the way. I have a few of them in my life, but I try not to engage with them as much as possible. I try to not involve them in my day-to-day routine and meet them very often, because I don't have the energy to deal with that. But I feel like people may also think that we are mean girls.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of people think that we're mean girls because we don't entertain a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
But we...
Having boundaries
Exactly.
and being rude, saying crass things are two very different things.
Yeah.
Me saying, sorry, I do not align with you, therefore I cannot offer you access to me, is different than me saying, oh my god, look at what she's wearing.
Exactly, exactly. We're protecting ourselves. And we don't want everyone to have access to us.
That's perfectly fine.
Exactly.
I feel like that's a big distinction to make.
Yeah.
Like, being mean, it does not mean, like, not being mean does not mean you have to be a pushover.
100%.
It just means, okay, like, have respect for people. I feel like at the end of the day, one thing that anytime I'm talking about something, someone, critiquing something, I do it in a way where I would be comfortable if someone did that to me as well. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a good gauge for me at least.
You said respect, and I feel like that is the essence of being mean or not mean, because it comes from a place of insecurity. If you have respect for others, that means you have respect for yourself. And if you have respect for yourself, that means you're not an insecure person. If you have those insecurities within you, it will come out as mean girl energy. 100%. Well, if you're a Taylor Swift or if you're some, Tom, Dick and Harry person here, it's very easy to become mean if you're not dealing with your own insecurities, and if you're not placing those boundaries, if you're just entertaining anything and everything. We know a lot of people like that, to be honest, who are just mean for the sake of being mean. And I don't fuck with that anymore.
But I feel like there's a lot of, usually I've seen it's people, when I talk about things, I usually talk about myself because I'm self-involved, I have self-love, I'm caught up with my own life. But people who talk about other people, I feel like it's a lot because they don't actually have anything to show for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, there's a big difference between sharing experiences that you've had with other people and then just generally making them a talking
100%.
point. You know what I mean? But people who do make it a talking point, I'm just like, do you not have any hobbies?
No.
I used to have this friend, she was like a painter, she used to love riding horses and everything, but she had this big dilemma of talking about other people. And I was seeing that she wasn't practicing any of her hobbies, even being a whole person. When you like don't have discipline with what you're gonna put out into the world, it really starts taking away from you too. Like your mind is gonna be occupied with like the evil or the lack of other people, when that's just your perception of it, honey. Like, you know what I mean? You really have to go back into yourself, fulfill yourself, catch up with your hobbies, catch up with what you want to do in life, and then interact with people.
तो ये इस तरह के लोग जो होते हैं, I feel like they're the kind of people who want to make you sort of how do you say it? Like they think that you are responsible for their issues. And I know people like that too who just call me up or want to meet me to just trauma dump on me, bitch about other people. I don't like that. Friendships should not be about that. I feel like friendships should be about, yes, you talk about your issues and your worries as well, but it shouldn't just be about talking crass about other people.
Yeah, and I also feel like it's, even if it's not you were just saying trauma dumping, I feel like even when people come with their own problems and they're not necessarily talking shit to you, I've seen, this is something that I've been going through, where I see there are people in my life who will only come to me in crisis mode.
Same. Yeah, I don't like that. I also like, अब मैं उसकी association with mean girl energy करती हूँ.
Yeah.
Because where are you when you're happy? Where are you when you're doing well? And why don't you ask about me first?
Yeah, and why can't we share in joy, basically?
Exactly.
You know, this is one thing I'm really confused about. With people who come to me to seek comfort in sadness, I'm like, you seem to like me enough, you seem to be safe with me, so why do you think I don't deserve your joy, basically? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It's just a bit, I get a little put off by stuff like that.
Me too. No, I had this friend who, growing up, was always just, she's a pick-me girl, and she's basically, she shits on every other girl around her, and she's the most gorgeous girl on the planet.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and growing up, we're in our 30s now, and she's still the same person as she was when we were teenagers. If you're not growing as a person, I understand being bitchy and mean in high school. I get it. Like, we're all bitchy and mean in high school. I'm not saying it's good, but I understand it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But if you grow up, you go through your 20s and you're in your 30s, you're a full woman now. If you're the same person and there's no growth, then I don't get it. Like, how are people not evolving?
I feel like there's this one big thing that people lack is like actually realizing that the voice in your head is not definite, it's not finite, it's not like, I have like a million thoughts in my brain.
Yeah.
I have a higher self, I have my ego, I have my fun time personality, I have my sad time personality, and I like to, maybe you can call it a split personality disorder, but it's not that, because they all come together in like my outward expression.
Yeah.
But internally, like when I'm having a sad thought, I do not let it fully consume me.
Yeah.
I have to keep it on a spectrum because there needs to be happiness there too. I have a roof over my head. I'm beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, there's a million things to be grateful about. I feel like people just lack like internal dialogue and be able to like realize, okay, like I have a million evil thoughts in a day. I can think horrible thoughts about people. I do. You know, I'm not an angel. But at the end of the day, I don't just run with them. Because I also have like a persona within me that is always gonna go towards kindness, you know what I mean? And I can reason myself, you know, I can, I feel like मेरे लिए compartmentalize करना ना चीज़ों को बहुत ज़रूरी है. And it's not just with what's going on in your life, it's also with your emotions. You need to carry everything with you at all times, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean you have to be 50-50 with everything, but realize that everything exists on a spectrum. Right now what I'm feeling is not the 100%, you know, I need to have complexity to myself for me to be able to like be balanced. Otherwise, when I'm happy, I'm the highest. When I'm saddest, life is the worst. When I'm angry, like I'm gonna kill you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. But this is like, it's so funny you're saying this, and I'm feeling your energy, and I feel like energies matter so much to me now. There are certain people who walk into a room, or when you meet them, or when you talk to them, you feel, I at least feel like tightness in my chest,
Yeah.
and I feel anxious talking to them because that's all they're doing. They're giving you their anxious energy.
You know, the thing is, it's like, and these people don't even necessarily have to be evil or bad people.
No, not at all.
I feel like I've just gotten so sensitive to it.
Yeah.
Like, if someone is not in a healthy place, like, especially because I feel like I was really overwhelmed in the past few days. Like, it really scared me. I saw, and I'm not like I've never had an anxiety attack, but like these few people walked into the room and they're being perfectly nice. They brought like, you know, snacks for me. They brought me cigarettes and everything. It's super sweet. I can appreciate them as well. But my heart just started like fluttering. It felt anxious, like, you know, for no reason, paranoia in my body.
Yeah.
So that's so true with energy.
Exactly, and I really don't like hanging out with people who do that for me anymore. And I'm very firm with my boundaries, especially with my routine and my discipline and all of that. But specifically with people who only call you or meet you to just say shit. Like, no, don't do that. And the thing is, I tried talking to a few people about it. I tried talking them out of it. I tried to sort of tell them that there's, you know, they should meditate, they should do some grounding exercises and all of that. But they just don't listen, and I feel like it needs to come from within. You know, like if you're not, it's like therapy. If nobody can force you to do therapy, your parents can maybe like force you to do it, but if you don't want to get better, therapy won't work on you. You need to be able to like want to do it, basically.
Literally.
It's the same with mean girl energy. I feel like, do you think these people know that they're being mean? Do you think they do it on purpose, or is it just like it comes so naturally? It's just second nature.
I feel like there's a lot of enabling going on in the world. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we find echo chambers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even like the algorithm is set up in a way where like it goes back to bias confirmation. You know what I mean? That's how the internet is set up for you. So what you're
100%,
thinking
yeah.
is translated to you. You surround yourself with people like
Yeah.
that. And I also feel like the sad truth is that most people actually don't give a shit about you. You know, even if you're surrounded by somewhat decent people, most people are not gonna taunt you or stop you when you're going wrong. They're not actually gonna express like their disdain with you, because most people aren't friends. Most
Yeah.
people are acquaintances, and
Yeah.
acquaintances will just let you be and let you do your thing and have
Yeah.
their fun time with you and then leave. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I do.
Which is why I feel like a lot of people see me as like, oh my god, okay, Abby's like, Abby will make me feel better. Abby will like, you know, blah 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 blah. But I started to see that I'm helping a lot of people stagnate in their life, because yes, they can come to me. It's a meditative space, you know. It's like nice. They can breathe. They can like feel better. But at the end of the day, if you're using an external source as a fix, at the end of the day, you're not doing life with me. You know, we're not partners. Like, we're not like getting married. You know, you're not doing life with your friends. At the end of the day, you can always come to me. You can feel better, but you are going to return to your problem. That is something you have to realize. And I feel like a lot of things that people do is like they use people as crutches. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For bad behavior, for sadness, for anger, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
They'll come to you, they'll express it, but they're gonna go back to the spaces where that anger or that sadness comes from at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've made a rule for myself that actually I am not a safe space. I'm a person at the end of the day. I cannot sustain that. You know what I mean?
You shouldn't
Forever.
have to be a sanctuary for everyone.
Exactly.
Like, you're already, every one of us, we have our own shit. We have to deal with it every day as well. We cannot be expected to deal with other people's shit as well.
Also, it's because I'm not dealing with it.
Uh-huh.
I'm happy in my life.
Yeah.
I'm in a meditative space. It might rub off on you, but
Yeah.
that's still my life.
Yeah.
You are going to return to your problem. And at the end of the day, I feel like enablers जो होते हैं ना, they have a big part to play in the lack of people's growth. You know what I mean?
I do.
People aren't blunt. People aren't honest.
But I feel like जैसे तुम्हारे मेरे जैसे type के लोग होते हैं ना, this friend of mine, she said this one thing to me. She's like, because, you know, we sort of have a positive outlook towards life. We're sort of happy-ish, I guess. We're not
Mostly, yeah.
sad
Not like-
people.
yeah.
We're not sad people.
Mostly.
So a lot of the times we attract these sort of like
Broken.
broken people. Not, I don't want to say broken, but like
We're broken.
I
I've
mean-
been broken. I fix myself every 3
Yeah,
months. You know
I don't
what I mean?
use that for other people. I
Yeah.
don't call myself broken. But like, you know, people who need mending. Chalo, haan,
Yeah,
theek hai,
yeah.
broken. Sahi hai you. But we sort of do attract these people, and then I don't mind attracting them. Please come flock, you know, and be a part of my herd. But then just don't dump your shit. Like, thoda sa khud se bhi, you need to do the inner work. You need to do a lot more before you get to that point where we are right now. We have done a lot of reflection.
And I think like the thing that saves me is that even when I'm expressing myself, it's not to vent. I want solutions in my
100%.
life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Even
Yeah.
if I'm expressing something to you,
Yeah.
it's so that I can put my thought out on a neutral platter
Yeah.
and then rearrange it to create something else, to create
Yeah.
some convenience in my life, which is something I feel like people don't do. Like
You know exactly. मैं finally तुम्हारे पास या इफ्रा के पास कब जाती हूँ when I've laid out all of the shit in my head. I've thought about multiple scenarios, and if they're not like sort of making sense to me, I come to you and I'm like, okay, this is the thing. What do I do? Or this is the thing. I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like, oh my god, I'm dying, and this is like, it's just, I don't even know how to do that, by the way.
I can't
we
anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, yeah.
Because हम लोग तो एक तो बिल्कुल end time पे एक दूसरे को चीजें बताते हैं.
Yeah, and
I
also I
feel
feel like it doesn't do anything.
It
no?
doesn't.
I don't want sympathy.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe anything is happening to me that's necessarily not somewhat self-inflicted. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly.
This is one thing that is my saving grace
Me
as
too.
well. I don't feel sorry for myself. I don't feel like I'm the victim of anything. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm a very capable person. I have 2 legs. I
Yeah.
have 2 hands. I have a tongue. I have sight. You know, I have a brain.
Exactly.
So anything that's happening to me, somewhat I'm allowing it. You know,
Yeah.
we are a victim to circumstance, sure, 100%.
Yeah.
But even that circumstance is kind of self-invited in really tiny ways.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you can't ever blame anybody for anything, but you shouldn't, because other people aren't the solution. Someone else's mistake is not what you can fix. The
Yeah.
only thing you can fix is where you went wrong.
Yeah.
And that's something people don't like to focus on.
हाँ, but मुझे इसीलिए लगता है कि like a lot of times we fall out of alignment with people. We are falling out with our friends all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's because alignment नहीं रहती है ना,
हाँ.
because we are elevated or not elevated or whatever. Like a few months ago, I was going through this like mental crunch where I was isolated. I was doing it to myself. It wasn't like people weren't asking about me or wanting to meet me. It was self-inflicted. I was literally just staying at home, doing nothing, not working, and I felt miserable. And for a few days, I thought that it's happening to me. And then I started getting out. I started meeting people more. I just started going out every day, and everything fell into place.
Yeah.
It's literally as simple as that. It's as simple as movement. You just need to move. You just need to change your circumstances a little bit, because you're right. I think self-inflicted होती हैं mostly चीज़ें.
yeah.
I'm not saying कि अल्लाह ना करे if you have an accident tomorrow. Of course, it's not self-inflicted, but what you do about it later, how you deal with it, how you move on from it, it's all on you.
But Dekho, at the end of the day now, for example, even if I am standing in a car, like sitting in a car and parked in front of the shop, someone comes and rams their Joanna car into
Yeah.
me and I am hurt, it's not gonna help me to be thinking, oh my god, this person is so horrible and they crashed
Yeah.
into me and they broke my arm. I'm gonna be like, okay, did I park in the safest space? You know what I mean? What could I have still done to keep myself safer at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Because I can't do anything about that person. That person is an idiot. They
Yeah.
crashed into me.
Yeah.
Okay? That's out of my
This
control.
is a very good analogy.
What is in my control?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people like don't realize that whatever they're doing in life or whatever is happening around them is not. They should, like, I don't know. The people don't reflect.
People also feel like, I feel like this is one thing I realize in a lot of people where they think they don't have control. When not having control is just a choice. Me choosing not to talk about a few things or use few words for people, or Johanna like give out information, or me choosing to conduct myself in a certain way, or just choosing happiness, doing happy tasks. At the end of the day, it's just a choice. It's not a gift that somebody else is giving me. I have a million things to be sad about, but I have to choose to do something that regulates me towards happiness.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm on my own, I do like to think about the things that make me sad. I will journal, I will turn
Yeah.
them into art, I will
Me
turn
too.
them into music,
Yeah.
you know, but you have to see, no matter what I'm given in life, how can I move it towards a place of convenience?
Yeah. Also, like this reminds me, like, you know, we really believe that words have power.
Yeah,
We
they're like
really
magic spells.
They are. It's magic. Whatever words you use for other people or for yourself.
Even thoughts, as
Even
simple as
thoughts.
thoughts.
देखो गलत thoughts आते हैं सबको,
Yeah.
बुरे thoughts सबको आते हैं. We can't really control those. But how you sort of change them, how you sort of streamline them and compartmentalize them is what, you know, sort of makes you sane. And people don't realize that, you know, coming back to Mean Girl energy, it's the stuff they keep saying over and over. It's on repeat. What you say on repeat really affects you as a person. It's doing nothing for the person that you're bitching about.
Right.
You keep saying the same thing about one person, it's going to affect you the most. It's your words, and it's going to affect the person you're saying it to.
Also, imagine, like, 60 years here on this world, I want to be saying beautiful things. If I don't
Yeah.
have something beautiful to say about you, I will remove you from my life.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I don't understand people who don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, if you really hate somebody in your life and they're constantly doing things to you and you're constantly like disagreeing with them, why are they in your space so much?
Honey, I don't even, like, I know people who are friends with people they constantly bitch
Exactly.
about. I don't get it.
That's
I
most
can't
people in
imagine,
the city.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But I can't imagine saying shit about you.
Yeah.
Like,
Even
things I
if,
can't
like,
say to your
something-
face.
Yeah, but even if we've had a falling out, even if you're like, oh my god, I'm so busy with my life, I don't think I have time
Yeah.
for you. That does not disregard anything that we've been through.
It doesn't.
You can make me feel shitty tomorrow.
Yeah.
You haven't made me feel shitty for the whole of our friendship.
Yeah.
And that's something people don't understand.
But it's also between us.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go around berating it. I'm
Exactly.
not gonna go around talking shit about you.
It's
If
honor,
I-
not honor होता है
Yeah.
थोड़ा सा
पर मुझे
different
लगता
है.
है जो अच्छी सस्टेनेबल जो फ्रेंडशिप्स होती हैं वो they are about communication. Any relationship,
Yeah.
fuck friendships. If I have an issue with you, if I think that you did something or said something that sort of put me on edge, I will talk about it.
This is such great advice,
Yeah.
like which I follow in my life as well.
Yeah.
If this is something I cannot say to your face, I
Exactly.
probably don't mean it. It's
Exactly.
probably not true.
Exactly.
Then don't.
अगर आप किसी के पीठ पीछे जाके बातें कर रहे हैं, you can't say the same shit to their face. Don't say it at all.
Yeah.
I will never say something about you that I can't say to your face.
Because also I tell you, I feel like being mean is also seen as cool. You know
Is
what I
it
mean?
though?
Look at the fucking like mean girl trope in movies. Like look at
Like-
our media. And you know, we can say, oh my god, we're not kids anymore and it doesn't affect us.
Yeah.
But we've been exposed to media since we were kids basically.
Yeah.
It does like create so much of your brain basically.
I do think that people do get together, especially to talk that like say shit about other people,
Yeah.
and I do think some people think it's cool, but
It's really not.
it's really not.
It isn't.
It's not. I think
It looks nice in a 1 hour movie because, like, you know,
Yeah.
she's dressed. But the thing
It's
is,
glamorous.
it's that girl who's so mean and, like, you know, that trope she's stealing, turn her unattractive.
yeah. Then she'd be a bully. I mean, but mean girls are essentially bullies, though.
But the reason they're always
They're
depicted as hot
sensationalized
girls.
because they're hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hot. But I feel like this is why, like, do you think so though? Like, this is such a controversial question. Do you think like pretty girls and hot people in general get away with shit
Yeah.
just because they're aesthetically?
I know,
pleasing?
I get away with so much shit.
I get away with a lot of shit too.
Yeah.
But it's not something. We're not evil people.
I'm not evil, but,
Yeah.
like, for example, I feel like I can be a little aloof sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, for example, if my brother, well, no, okay, let's not take an example because that's gonna be like, oh, you're attractive. No, I'm attractive and you're not attractive. But like, I can be a little bit dismissive sometimes. That it's not coming from an evil place, you know what I mean? But like, it can come off as rude. But I've seen a lot of people just be like, oh my god, you're so pretty. Like, you know, it's fine. And that's an actual thing that people do. I feel like you go to a party, like if you're unattractive, like, you know, they're probably gonna ask you for the guest list. But if you're attractive, like the guards will not ask you for the guest list. They'll probably just let you go in.
हाँ, but ये superficial बातें हैं. I'm talking about like real life shit. You know, like for example, I know this really pretty mean girl, and I
Yeah.
feel like she gets away with so much more than.
Let me tell you, तुम्हें पता है क्यों big चीजें में भी आती हैं?
हाँ.
Because this is a sad truth, but
हाँ.
people have this expectation that attractive people are good people. You know what I mean?
That's true too. Because aesthetic, जैसे फूल प्यारे हैं,
yeah.
they're good to
So
look
they're
at,
good
so
to
they
look-
smell nice
yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that.
So even this friend, I
Yeah.
know who you're talking about, but
Yeah.
because she's pretty, I
Yeah.
thought she's probably like an angel girl, very self-involved, doing good in her own life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is a bias. It
But
does
also
exist.
there's another friend, I can't. There's another friend who's a meaner girl. Not a
Yeah.
meaner girl, but like she has issues, right? And I'm struggling with a lot of things with her because I can't really like make her understand that her issues are self-made. It's not the world trying to fuck with her.
Yeah.
It's literally her inside her head not untangling or detangling every shit that she's thinking of.
Yeah.
Should not have said that.
But no, it could be anyone. It's a man.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But I do think if your life is somewhat sorted, I mean, even if it isn't, even if you don't have a job, if you're struggling, if you don't have a lot of friends, whatever it is, I feel like you can still choose to be a good person.
But that's the thing. It's as simple as making that choice, and it's a
Exactly.
choice that you have to make
Yeah.
every day. And when you're not making it, it's a choice that you're not making. It's not because the world is like facting. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like you can express anything you want to,
Yeah.
but it does not have to come from an unkind place. It does not have to come from a place of getting your leg up.
Yeah.
But just like happiness, being a good person, happiness, like that's a choice every single day as well.
Yeah.
I was bulimic. I had depression. Like I feel like I still have those tendencies,
Yeah.
and it's a choice every single day to not like go there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
And
do.
it's a choice. Like I don't feel like there ever comes a point in life where you have to stop making that decision.
Yeah.
It gets easier as the time goes on because it's just your more go-to.
Yeah.
But it's still like I have to like choose to be a certain way every single day. I cannot leave it up to circumstance.
Yeah.
Because circumstance will sway me in all sorts of directions.
I agree.
People will say all sorts of things. People will do all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But what do I want my tone in life to be? Where
Yeah.
do I want my head to be at? That's something I have to choose. I can't leave it up to like my impulsive emotions because
Yeah.
emotions, thoughts, they go everywhere.
Yeah.
Expression is the only thing you can control.
But वही बात है ना, because I'm a confrontational person. If something is bothering me, if something pisses me off, I'd rather talk about it. But there's a difference. I will talk about it with somebody I want to keep in my life. If I don't give a shit about you and if you've wronged me in whatever way, I'm not gonna say anything. I'll walk away.
This is like, if you take away anything from this, one thing should be like, if you don't have anything nice to say about the anyone in your life,
Yeah.
any specific person, multiple people, they shouldn't be in your life. You don't deserve that. They don't deserve
वो तो
that.
ठीक है बात, ये भी बात है, बहुत accurate बात है. But also on top of that, if there's a random person or if there's a person that I have no connectivity with or if I'm not aligned with, and if they're talking shit about me, I will let them.
Yeah.
Please go ahead, talk shit about
That
me.
as well, by
You
the
know,
way.
Yeah, I don't care. But if you're my friend and if I hear from another person that you said blah 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 XYZ, I will confront you.
Because obviously that's different as well.
Exactly. I want to keep you in my life. तो मुझे यही होता है, if you want people to stay in your life, talk about your actual issues and not about people.
And also pick your battles as
Yeah.
well at the end of the day. There is a good distinction between like, okay, what is gonna benefit me in life, what actually matters in my day to day, and what
Yeah.
adds to me. So if it's somebody that you don't care about, not interacting with them is actually the best thing to do because
Yeah.
it doesn't you don't really want more of that in your life. You know what I mean?
But sometimes it's complicated. You can't really not interact with people. You know, we all have people in our lives that are just acquaintances who think that they're our best friends, but they're not. And it's hard to shake them off sometimes. So
But at the end of the day, let me tell you, not doing it is just like avoiding a set of circumstances. I feel like that is the case. You know what I mean at the end of the day? Because if you really want to be blunt, you can be as blunt as it gets. You know what I mean? And sometimes people will get the message. But if you're not choosing to do it, I feel like it's also important to remember it's a list of circumstances that I'm currently avoiding that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. I think that's it for the day. We've said
Yeah.
enough about me.
And I have to edit it as well.
Yeah,
so I'm like
I know,
keeping
shit.
it short.
By the way, shouldn't we? चलो ये तो हो गया. Shouldn't we always like introduce ourselves? Always like
Yeah. Okay, this is Coco and I'm Abby, and we'll do that at the beginning from next
Yes,
time.
exactly. Or we can just edit it, shuru mein.
Yeah.
You can also like put tags.
Yeah, I'll like in the initially now I'll just put your name like when it's zoomed into you and my name.
Exactly. बस वो कर लेंगे.
Done.
Okay, bye.
Bye.